My bad. I think there was an issue with the audio, and I was talking for the last 10 minutes in 4 minutes. I'm so sorry about it. Oh my God, I feel so dumb. Actually, I'm sorry about it. Great. Let's start over. Let's start over. I'm sorry about it. So what I have in my mind to discuss today is I'm not gonna eat more of your time. I'll dry run it. So the whole point is we made a great change to the product in the build 6040, which we launched a couple of days ago. So we have something on the table, right, which can help us a lot, actually, depending upon the market trend. So what's that is, we made a big change for the file analysis piece alone. As you guys already know, we have independent components available on the product, like file audit, file analysis, risk analysis, and endpoint protection. That is a big change for the file analysis module alone. What's the changes? All this time, when you buy the product, when someone buys, a couple of file servers for the file auditing component, they will get the file analysis free along with that, right? That's not the case moving forward. So because file analysis has been, taken as an independent component. That's one. Okay. So you do not have to worry about the old customers. There's not going to be a single change for them on the licensing front. You don't have to worry about that. But anybody who is looking into buy the product moving forward, file analysis will act as an individual component, a kind of a new, an add-on or component, however you would like to want to call it. Okay, so that's the bigger change. So the change is, like, we have made it independent, so the pricing is different, and the licensing is based on volume, TBs of data, actually. I will explain you the licensing part, with great extent once I'm done with the feature sets of the product, okay? So I'm going to talk to you about, like, for the next 10 minutes, we will discuss about what are the features that were enhanced within the file analysis, and we have some few new reports which might be of your interest, which, you guys asked a few reports to us. We just brought them into the product, actually. So I'm going to show you that. And once we're done with that, we will discuss about the licensing part, how it's gonna affect the licensing, how it's gonna be of importance for us. That's what we're gonna discuss. Okay. So the first one is tree view. So you guys, if you would have seen file audit plus or data security plus already, the file analysis part, when you log into the product, okay, so you will just land on the file audit tab, and then you will just see the file auditing options over there. We gave you the option whatever tab you want to default pin inside the product, but that was not enough. So for that reason, we brought in this UI over here. So whenever you log into the product, this is the page you will land. So you get the option what components you will want to access within the product. So for anybody who just buys file analysis, it'll be like when they log into the product, okay, they have to access file analysis, but the product can do much more than that. So they just want to try those add-ons. So that's what the main goal of this UI is all about. So now we are not going to discuss about any other components over here, just file analysis. So I'm just clicking on file analysis. So what's the big change, when coming to usability, feature-wise? If you guys, would have seen paid attention to the dashboard in the older builds, you can see that we do not have the left pane all this time. It was empty, right? So what we did all this time is, let's say, stale files. We were giving you the information about stale files, like commonly, for the entire volume, whatever you have configured within the product. But that was not enough for you guys. A lot of you guys and a few of our customers asked us that they want to drill down. They want to drill down to file level, and they want to see, like, extract a lot of information out of it. So for that reason, we brought in this left pane, a great option. So if you look at here, I'm going to expand my domain, and I'm going to expand the server, what I've configured within that domain. So I get the list of drives, whatever I've configured within that server. When I expand it, I get the list of folders available within that particular server over there. So I click on the folder, you will get the storage view and security view just for that particular server. That's cool, right? So just look at that, like, you get an information about the storage of that particular server, the number of files available, the TVs, who is the owner of that particular file, of that particular folder, how many files he holds over there. When you move to the security view, you understand that particular folder's permissions as well, the DSCL values as well over there. So every single thing in one single pane, in one single pane of view over there. So if you expand the folders, you will get to the list of files available within that folder also. This is great. So you can now click on independent files, actually, and understand that particular file's creation date, last modification date, when was it last accessed, who is that particular file's owner, like all this information. It doesn't have inconsistent permission. Does it have open access? Is that a stale file? that is something which that's a new report which we brought in. The dashboard was already available, but we brought a new report for that. So you can get amazing information about files, from one single window. Is that hidden? Is that a non-business file? Is it stale? Meaning, is this guy Alan hasn't logged into the domain for the past 90 days? So all these information in one single window for you, right? So then the security view, you can understand the DACL, the permissions of that particular file itself. So this is one great feature, which every file analysis tool must have, and not a lot of them have at the moment. But we have brought this in just because of you guys. You gave these options to options to us, and a few customers asked us, and we found the potential, so we brought this in. I hope this is going to make a big change, when projecting the file analysis feature to our customers over there. So that's the first one, the tree view. Okay, so once I'm done with that, the second one, again, I showed you the file properties, so you can drill down to file level and show them the properties, how it's available. The third one is file analysis now supports mounted drives. So all this time, mounted drives were not supported under file analysis. You guys know that. So right now, we started doing that actually. So when you go here, you have an option. You have an option to all drives, only specific drives, and you have an option for custom drives right now. That's something new, right? So over here, you can add the drive letters. You can add the drive letters of your mounted drives over there, and the product will be able to do file analysis for your mounted drives as well. That's a new thing, and that is one of the features which a lot of people asked, actually, a lot of you guys and a lot of customers asked. So that's available in the product right now. Okay. And the next one, what do we have in place is status of scheduled tasks, scheduled scans. Actually, this was something which everybody were interested in, because we run these file analysis. We get you these reports, from the scans what we run in the background, right? So you guys wanted to know these scheduled status, what the scan is doing on, like what's the status of that scan at the moment, actually. So we have brought that in. When you go to the Windows file server under configuration, you have a view scheduled status. So when you go there, you will understand when do the incrementals can happen, when do the disk space can happen, when do the securities can happen, and when a full metadata scan happen, actually. So all this information, the start time and the run time, the end time. So we have all these available. And for independent categories, when that information was crunched. So we have all of them readily available for you. Okay, so I have to talk about one thing over here, which we have in the roadmap. So in the future, you will be able to see the current status as well. So if this scan is running at the moment, you will be able to see the percentage of that scan as well. You will be able to see that. Okay, so that's something new, and that's one other thing what we are actually working on at the moment. So the next one is empty folder report. So this is an important report. You guys, we cannot find that much more of value for that, to be honest, because those are empty folders. It's not gonna store hold any data over there. That's fine, but again, it has a lot of security values. Empty folders have a lot of security value to it. Okay, and also people wanted to. This is one big thing, what we got a lot of feature requests, from you guys and from the customers as well. They wanted to organize a directory structure. They wanted to know if there are empty folders available, within their within the folders over there. So we brought that report for you. When you go to reports, when you scroll down to the on-demand reports, you will have an option called as empty folder reports. So this will generate the report with the list of empty folders available within your configured volumes. Okay, perfect. Great. That's one thing what I want to tell you about. And the next thing, what could be of interest, what's something new, what we brought in is tracking files with no extensions. So why do we even have to track files with no extensions? Because by default, files do not have to have extensions. Be sure about that. But the use cases and the few things what we got and what we even were concentrated on is, for example, any file which doesn't have an extension over here, there is no application which can open it by default, right? So the possibilities of that being a business file, which for example, you guys have your employees using Microsoft Office over there. So any file which is getting saved by a Microsoft Office platform has to have an extension, like PowerPoint, Word, and Notepad, anything. It could be a flat file. It has to have an extension over there. So any file which is not having an extension, possibilities, I'm not pointing it, but again, possibilities of that not being a business file is high, actually. So for that reason, you can use this report, files, with no extension. Just a moment, and that will be able to get you the information as well. Okay, so that's what about that report is all about. The next one, the important one, everybody of you guys asked me, and I want to talk about this one. The scan speed, we have enhanced a lot because you guys deploy the product to a lot of customers who has like some TBs of data, and we got feedback like the file analysis took like a week to run over that, right? We have faced that, we have accepted that, but we have enhanced it right now. We have fixed it perfectly. We have brought in a 70 to 80% of improvement on that. So, for example, the scan which used to run for a week has been brought down to within 2 days right now. That's definitely going to happen, right? So when you click on file manually on your Windows file server, right click, go to properties. If it has like 10 TBs of data, the metadata properties itself, it's going to take at least a few minutes to load for you. So that's what the product is even going to take over there. We have enhanced it about like 70 to 80%. So that's going to fix a lot of trouble for you guys, and it's going to put this particular product in a good limelight as well. I hope that. Okay, so you guys can test it out. You're very welcome to please go ahead, deploy this, test it out. Please let us know the feedback. If you have any corrections, if you have any comments for us, please drop us a line. We'd be more than happy to work on that actually. Okay, so the next one, what I want to talk to you about is disk usage. Overview was not available. We had that option to this one, the disks with low space. Disk usage report, the dashboard, we had that before build 6000, but we stopped giving that option after the build 6000. We have just brought that back in. It's not a great thing, but that was missing from the build 6000, and we have just brought that in back for you in 6040. I just have to let you know about that. Okay, so that's one. And the next thing is inactive user report. So all this time, your overview had the inactive users, overview on the dashboard over there, but it did not have a corresponding report. So that is something, we got a lot of requests, and we just brought that in right now. So we have the inactive user reports over here. So we have categorized inactive reports based on three things. One is, if a file is being used, owned by a stale user. Okay, so if a file is being owned by a disabled user, and if files are being owned by expired users, so that's what defines as an active user report, right? So stale users, how do we do that? Is we contact the active directory on a daily basis. We have a schedule. We read your user objects last log on attribute timestamp on a daily basis. So anybody who is not logged in for the past 90 days will be considered as an inactive user, as a stale user. And if that guy owns any file within your organization, within the file server, that will be shown under files of stale users over there. So at the moment, the criteria is 90 days. If nobody, if a person is not logging in hasn't logged in for the past 90 days, he will be considered a stale user. That's hard coded within the product. In the future, that's again one more roadmap. We are going to give you the option where you can customize. If you want to find out 30 days, you can go ahead, edit that 90 days and change it to 30 days. We are working on that. We will have that option available very soon. The same applies for disabled and expired users as well. We are in constant touch with your Active Directory, and we will be letting you if any of the files are being owned by users who are disabled at the moment, or users who have expired their date actually, who are not active at the moment. Okay, so that's what I have from the feature side. Okay, now coming to the biggest point, licensing. That's what we're interested in, right? So you guys would have got the file analysis licensing piece, the pricing sheet, I believe. We will just get I think the emailer should have the link as well. Okay, if not, you guys can just drop us an email. We will just show you as well. You can just go to the products web page, the landing page, file analysis page, and you will get an idea about the licensing. So the whole point is these are the components available within the product. So file audit, that's an independent component. As you already know, it stays an independent component based on the number of file servers. So if someone buys file service, they will get just the file auditing piece moving forward. That's all. Okay. So file analysis, it has been moved to an independent component right now, and that's licensing is based on volume, TBs. But there's a point. Okay. So let's say, let's say a person, bought like some 5 file servers right now. By default, they will get 5 TB worth of file analysis for free. They don't have to buy that. Okay. Let's say, I have 5 file servers, and I have like 7 TBs of data within those file servers. So what will happen is I will get 5 TBs of file analysis, licensing for free. I can just buy the extra 2 TB over there, and that should be it. Okay, so that's the licensing change what we have made for you. Okay, and the next one is risk analysis. You guys know that it's already based on volume TBs of data that the customer will like to scan. It stays the same. Endpoint stays the same again, number of workstations. And cloud protection, you guys know that already. As of now, it is still in the beta version, and we have not still yet decided on about the licensing structure of that particular module. And I will let you know once we have that enabled. Once it hits the floor, as a complete component with the licensing fee, module or decided, I will let you know about that. Okay. So what are the other roadmaps? What we have in mind is, number one is custom reports for file analysis with filter options. We will be giving that power to the customers, so they can go ahead, customize reports into file analysis, and they can just see for that. That's something which you're building on. It's going to be on the roadmap. And the next big thing is, you guys have been asking this for a long time, because right now, we have most of the features. You guys have been dealing with products a lot. Actually, when talking about a file analysis product, we have most of the reports available within the product right now. And trust me, after this enhancement, it actually works great as well. So right now, we think it's better to improve our scope. It's better to set footprints on other platforms as well. So we are going to start doing file analysis on EMZ devices and NetApp servers as well. So that's what we have in mind, and that's what we're going to work right next. We will be working on supporting EMZ and NetApp within file analysis. That's what the next big thing is all about. Okay, so that's all for today. That's all for today. That's all what I had to tell you guys for today when coming to this file analysis. What we can do is, you can just you have my email ID on screen. So what I can do is, in case of any questions or any comments or whatever you guys have, your suggestions, whatever you have, please drop me an email, or please drop us, support at datasecurityplus.com, an email, and we'll be more than happy to answer your questions over there. Okay. So that's all from me today. I hope I'm done. So let me know. I'll be expecting emails. Anything, drop us an email, and we'll be more than happy to help you out. Okay. In case of any questions, please use the chat window right now, and you can just ask me the questions, and I'll possibly answer them. If I'm not able to answer a few, I'll make sure to get back to you with the answers. So we'll keep the floor open for another couple of minutes and see if I get any questions.